Hi, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who've been watching this for a couple of years, you'll kind of know a little bit about the stairs and the hallway and how it's been messed around in the past. But for those of you who haven't, this is a bit of an intro to this renovation. So I'm not sure exactly when, but sometime around the 60s, 70s, this house saw kind of an extreme makeover in a pretty catastrophic way. A lot of the original features were gutted, all the fireplaces, a lot of the flooring, all the original pine doors were cladded with hardboard and gloss white. And part of that build, or renovation as such, they took out all the original timber joinery and replaced it with this metal welded sort of railing. Now, unless you actually pick away at it, you can't really tell what used to be there. So we're going to have a look at that now, and you'll begin to get the idea of what it used to be. So they've kind of put batten in here. Can you pull that out and we'll show you what?
Pull it out.
That's it. So they kind of put these fillets of wood in. This is just a hardboard, which was another, again, gloss white from the other side. So this is how the staircase used to be, with the spindles or the balusters coming down onto the treads. Another issue is the spacing here. Show me your head again, like you were just doing. Bring it here. You shouldn't be able to do that because it's too far apart. Okay, go back, 'cause it's not very safe. So that's another biggie. We need to bring the spindles back closer together to be in line with building regulations and just being safe. Now the easiest thing to do, and something we did contemplate, would just be to remove the rails, leave this board on here and stick a standard base rail on top of that, so you'd have a standard kind of stringer on the side. But we're going to take the hard but loyal to the house route, which is going to be to restore it back how it was. Right, so that's all of those knocked out that came out. They were only glued in place. Eden's going to collect them for kindling. Next bit of discovery is the ends of these. You can just about make out the shaping here, and that's where the end of the stairs would have been moulded. Thank you. There would have been the same bull nose that's on the front of the treads would follow around here and mitre back in, and then you can even make out the little scotia that's underneath here. Like, all that stuff that we're going to have to remake. Okay, watch out. So this is where they massacred and locked off the old newel post, which obviously used to go all the way down to the floor, and you can see that on the reverse side. And then the string from the side of the string came into it. We need to put our we've got a newel base to go on here. It also measures the identical dimensions, which is perfect. However, it's going to be hardwood and left with wood grain showing, so we need it to kind of look like it's going down to at least this far, and then we could perhaps put a veneer or something on the back of the newel if it's visible. So I just need to work out how we're going to mortise it into here and notch it in a way that the structure of the pine one stays, but we can kind of fix a new one over the top.
Walking stick.
It's a bit like a walking stick. Okay, so once all the metal has gone,
Yeah.
see if that will fit in there. See that?
Yeah.
So our new ones will look like this. Don't know which way, I think they'll go that way. The new ones are going to go in like that, and they'll be glued and we'll nail them in so they're nice and strong. And then we'll have a new handrail that comes down. Is that good? So we're not getting rid of the stairs, don't worry, you'll still be able to go to bed. This one goes all the way up, but that's non-structural, so that'll be cut off and we'll just have a kind of finished turn newel there. The staircase is a bit different, this top one. It's not a cut string like downstairs, so it was always, to a certain degree, a slab of a stringer here. But this top covering sounds a little bit flimsy. I'm reluctant to start pulling it off now because I'm not quite sure what effect that will have under the plaster below, but we're going to have a base rail sat on here, spindles sat into that, and then the handrail above. And the handrails don't go all the way up on both floors, so they'll actually terminate into the ceiling and go along a little bit like these ones are now. Actually, I said we'd leave this, but let's have a little pick away. I love discovering what used to be there. What I am going to do is just cut the paint where the gloss terminates, so we don't end up peeling loads of paint off top and bottom. There is a seam, like a join there, which doesn't look like it's original. And if it's plywood, then it's obviously not Victorian. Just in case we're exposing the structure of the stairs. I'll try another peek. It's plywood. That means we don't want it there. It's not original. And again, it's actually not that pretty behind there either. That's a shame. This is obviously the structure of the stairs, but not ornate. So whatever was there originally, the facing, has been gutted. So we could put that back up, but I think we're probably better off doing our own thing and trying to do it in one length. This is modern softwood, which is being clad onto it. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting to find there. I was kind of secretly hoping for something quite ornate, but it wasn't to be. So we'll take this plywood off and then we'll kind of have a think about how we're going to play this. Of course, it all makes sense now. It used to be tongue and groove all the way down, because down here is that tongue and groove panelling. Above in that cupboard in the loft room is tongue and groove. And if we look right up in that corner, there's a tiny bit left, which is a groove of that board facing this way. So actually it all used to be vertical cladding. And you can also make out the lines there where it was chiseled off or chipped off. So it doesn't mean that we have to go back to that, but it is nice to know what was there. At the top of the stairs is another newel post cut off at the floor level, and some other evidence of what used to be there, but it's a lot simpler up there. That gives you an idea what happens when you get a fad and people start glossing over everything, going for the minimalist look. They've literally either capped over, chopped off, cut off. Yeah, it's kind of criminal really, but I guess that's the reason why some houses are listed, to protect them from this sort of thing happening. There you go, that's where we are. We're right at the beginning, but you get an idea of what we're facing. It's kind of a mixture between restoration and renovation. You know, we're going to try and go back to something that will suit the house, suit the rest of the like features that we put back in, like the joinery and the cornice and things like that. Anyway, it's going to be a busy week. We've got a lot of the stair parts here already. The handrails are upstairs. I'll feature them in a separate video, but they are having their finish put on at the moment. I'm still waiting on 3 newel posts to come over. Funnily enough, they're coming from Ireland and they got caught up in the storm. So hopefully they'll be here beginning of the week and we can start putting this stuff together. But apart from that, remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.